Thank you, my honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Danburam Abubakar Nuhu, representing Kano Municipal, Kano State. The House notes that the agricultural revolution in the country has since led to many states relinquishing bumper harvests and surpassing set targets, particularly in the grain production. Further notes that recently the Minister of State for Agriculture, in a meeting with foreign agro-investor and the Vice President at the Presidential Villa, gave an assurance that the country will have sufficient food in the next harvest season. Aware that the anticipated bumper harvest is expected to meet local demands as well as export needs for 2017. Concerned that the Ministry of Agriculture and some agricultural associations have raised concerns about massive rate of exportation, which could lead to shortage of grains in Nigeria by January due to high demand for grains from African countries as distant as Libya, Algeria, Chad, and Niger, and from other places as far away as Brazil. Further concerned that this troubling exportation is largely facilitated in the Wano market in Kano, Megatri market in Jigawa, Bama market in Borno, and Ilela market in Sokoto, as well as 3 other main markets in Kebbi State, among other markets, with an estimation that no fewer than 500 trucks loaded with grains leave these markets every week. Desirous of ensuring food security among other competing needs in order to affirm the objective of diversification while also enhancing export opportunities and self-sufficiency. The House resolves to mandate the Committee on Agricultural Production and Services to urgently investigate this unfortunate situation with the view to ensuring that the Ministry of Agriculture synergizes efforts with the relevant MDAs towards developing an action plan to avert this unhealthy competition of export at the expense of local demand and a possible famine in 2017. I so move. Thank you.
I'm Abdullah Hassan Suru, representing Bangudo Suru Federal Constituency of Kebbi State. I raise, Mr. Speaker, to second the motion as moved by my colleague, Honorable Danburam. Thank you.
I stand as part of our responsibility as the House of the people, given the indicators and the comments from agricultural associations and experts in this sector. We shall not fold our arms, sit back, and rely on mere statements of the Honorable Minister on possible farming to come. Given the magnitude of this situation, such statement must be backed by strategic government policies to mitigate the situation such that will give us the comfort of any eventuality. If I may remind us as a House, Mr. Speaker and my honorable colleagues, about the situation in the Forex market. It is a matter which is still on the table of debate, yet the executive has failed to agree with our position, despite that we are still swimming in troubled waters. The experience of what is happening in Forex, Mr. Speaker and my honorable colleagues, Forex market is a clear indication and has further buttressed my position on the essence of this motion. So, distinguished honorable members, please do not get me wrong that I want to draw attention to the fact that I'm not against export. Every Nigerian wants to see that today we're an exporting country, not an importing country. In fact, we cannot stop export of goods and services if we must improve on our foreign exchange. But as government, we also need to ensure sufficiency to meet local demand of the commodities. Distinguished Speaker, my honorable colleagues, let me remind us all quickly that the record should, should be there. Should there be an alarming and unbearable hunger in the country, God forbid, I'm not praying for that. I'm sure Nigerians who have voted us to be in this house for not doing the needful at the eminent time will not forgive us all. The question every Nigerian is asking is that, is government doing anything to strategize to ensure food reserves for the country? Finally, I want to remind all of us that it is lack of planning that we have in this country that has landed us to the position where we are today economically. Distinguished Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I implore all of us to support this motion to save the generality of Nigerians from continuous untold economic hardship. Thank you and God bless.
Mr. Speaker, I'm coming under this platform because, yes, it is a known fact that the country must have a comparative advantage on certain areas of production as compared to the areas he's trading with. Mr. Speaker, it's a known fact that even when you are producing greatly for export, you must feed your populace. The most important thing for farmers is to feed the nation. And it is also known fact that in the past years, government have supported farmers in our country in terms of seedling, in terms of fertilizer, on a method to be able to produce the kind of quantum that can be able to address hunger in our nation. It is also a known fact that necessary agencies that need to forecast issues of weather in the country have forecasted that between January to April there will be drought. And to such circumstances, it then means it's going to affect the farmers. And if it's going to affect the farmers, it then means low production of food will happen between January and July next year. And to have a safety net. That is why this motion is very, very important and germane at this particular point in time.
And I state with all emphasis, Mr. Speaker, that any nation that refuses to plan from day one has planned to fail. I say this because of the great potentials we have in the agricultural sector. Today, the price of oil has gone down, and we have not taken the full advantage of the agricultural sector. We can make so much money, so much resources from the agricultural sector, where we can even feed the whole nation, end up extending this to the other African nations. But we have not been able to put the necessary structures, the necessary plans on ground. And what is our colleagues telling us? That there is the possibility of a major drought hitting our nation. And what is happening today is that there is some level of flow of some of these foodstuffs going out of this country. It shows very clearly that we lack the privilege, or rather the opportunity, of storing our foodstuffs. We have not been able to add value to this whole food that we produce in this nation. What we can clearly see is that there is a major opportunity, and I say that this motion has almost a two-dimension. Look at the danger and the great opportunity that we have in the agricultural sector.
Mr. Speaker, if you look at the bumper harvest, you see it has been long that Nigeria experienced this bumper harvest like this year. Mr. Speaker, the federal government came up with a policy of stopping the input of rice into this country. But Mr. Speaker, all these bumper harvests, some countries, neighboring countries, are supporting the grains or the produce we have in this country, Mr. Speaker, without the government making effort to stop that siphoning of our produce, Mr. Speaker. But the government come up with a stringent policy to stop rice importation, stop food importation. But our oil is allowed to be taken away through our borders, while we protect entering of farm produce, but we allow our own to go unchecked. Mr. Speaker, I think this motion is timely, and the House needs to support this motion because, like I said, God loves this country, where a recession and God brings bumper harvest to this country.
So what I would advise is this. The motion is very good, but the most important aspect of this motion is that states should be advised to go back to the marketing board of the old days, because government normally is supposed to buy from farmers so as to make sure that farmers do not sell at a loss, because farming is effort intensive, the money involved in farming is so high, and government has to help by way of putting farm implements and fertilizers. Again, fertilizers and other farm inputs are very important. We must subsidize our farmers so that they can always go back to farm to produce. Thank you very much.
People of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it.